This is Trainer David, and we'll be talking about just quite a few different little things here today. Well, let's see, let's just kind of get it rolling here. I always do like to remind people that wisdom comes not from age, but from education and training. That was Anton Chekhov here. And one of my favorite quotes is, good things come to people who wait, but better things come to those who go out and get it. And that was a quote from good old Anonymous. I think Anonymous probably has the most quotes available out there. So as we kind of take a look at what we're going to be looking at today, we'll have a tip of the week, a few sales shout outs, and then today we're going to talk about one of the new products that's out there. It's the SureBridge dental vision and hearing plan. So some good things to say about that. So now for our tip of the week. We all saw that National General, for their accident and health, changed the quoting on there. You used to be able to go out 90 days in advance, and you can only go out 40 days in advance. Now that's not quite new, but what I found was I was getting questions about the NetGen Medicare supplement plan, wanting to know why they couldn't quote that out into the future. And what I really found is that there's no restrictions on that, but you have to go to the right website. Okay? You can, on the NetGen Accident Health, you can quote a supplement from there. However, that is not the correct place to doing that quote from. Even though it will let you select supplement to provide a quote, doesn't make it the best place to go to get it. So you can see there's two different URLs for one for quoting the NetGen Accident and Health, and a separate one for quoting the NetGen Medicare supplement. So we want to make sure that you do go to the right one for quoting those two different products. A couple of shout outs here for sales. Okay, this is all for last week, the week of the 2nd. It's like our STM was still the national the NetGen plan, along with the accident plan, critical illness, dental, UHC though. Okay, and some big shout outs to Bill Cox, Evan Tunis, and Katia Santa Maria for their STM, and also to Bill Cox, Kimberly Lockhart, and Brad Hartley for their sales of accident plans. Okay, so let's take a look at this SureBridge product. Like I said, one of the things that kind of made this one stand out, that's a little bit different than most of the other dental plans, is going to be that 0 to 99 years of age. Okay, so there's really no age restrictions on there. And so that comes in pretty nice, especially if you're starting to find yourself dealing with any of the over 65 crowd. First of all, this plan does have the big three that they're looking for in that Medicare itself does not cover dental, vision, or hearing. If someone is in a med sup, they would need a separate plan to cover that anyway. And if they're in any of the Medicare Advantage plans, it's a bit hit and miss when it comes to hearing. And even though there is going to be some pretty decent coverage in those, but not all of them, you have to read that summary of benefits to see how they'll treat dental and vision. And I've seen some that are terrific and some that just don't have much at all. Okay, so there's always some good things to look up there. So now just some real general stuff here. It says, no waiting period for base. So that means on the dental plan, you're going to be able to, get the checkups. On portion, you'll be able to get the examining portion, you'll be able to get the that's what they mean when they say no waiting on the basic. Okay? Well, it is what I would call the PPO plan. It does use the Carrington network. And that's going to mean that you're going to get better discounts with in-network with the Carrington than you would outside the network, but you're not required to stay inside the network. And depending on what you're getting, I said premiums start down around $25. Coverage is 0 to 99. It's all guarantee issue and guaranteed renewable. So we'll break it down to just a little bit here, and hopefully that will kind of help out a little bit. Okay. On the dental benefits, like I had said, work, you have options for that. It can be $1,000, $1,500, or $2,000. When you first join the plan, just like most of the other ones that are out there, no waiting for that. 100% coverage on your preventative. So that's going to be, your exam, your X-rays. Okay, so you get all that taken care of right up front. On the basic coverage, remember exactly what they mean by basic is going to be, like a filling, something like that, right? And whereas, the major coverage is going to be things like, crowns, root canals, and that much more heavy lifting kind of stuff. But what I do like to point out, though, is that on the basic, while there is no waiting period, it's going to take you 3 years to, it's going to be in year 3 that they'll do 80% of the coverage. Now, on the major, just like a lot of others, it's 9 months. Some of them are a year, but it's a 9-month. In year 1, they'll cover 60%, but you notice that by year 3, you're at 80% on major services also. Okay. So that's not too bad. So that's the dental portion. I'd say really, nothing special. It's pretty much that the same dental that you're going to get from most of the carriers that we work with. It does seem to give you a little, if you stick with the plan, looks like their coverages are pretty good because you're at 80% on just about everything by year 3, and that's including those major services. And you normally don't see more than 50, a few at 60% on those. So getting 80% coverage on major coverage is great, along with the discounts that you would be getting if you stayed within the Carrington network. Now for the vision portion, you're looking at IMED. That's who they're going to be using. It's still a max benefit of $200. However you want to look at it, they're going to cover the eye exam at no problem. But there is that 9-month waiting period before they're going to start, buying glasses, contacts, and that sort of stuff for you. Now, I mean, they will, do contact lenses, frames, corrective lenses, but the payment on that is going to be pretty much after that 9-month waiting period. The only thing they're going to give out at the very beginning is going to be that the eye exam. So they'll give you the eye exam. Okay. And you can see that after you've been with the plan, you get some pretty good coverage there, even though it's maxes out at $200. That's the portion that they would pay. In year 3, it's 80%. Okay, so they're going to be paying, that first 200, and the individual would just be responsible for what goes beyond that. So you'd probably find yourself getting some, pretty good service on that, and after that first year or 2. Okay. When we go on to looking at the hearing benefit, it's going to be using the True Hearing Network. Max benefit on this portion is $500, and that's over a 2-year period. Okay, so again, the only thing that you get right up front is that hearing exam, and they'll cover up to $75. So they say 100%, but they max out at $75 on the exam. So, and then after 9 months, at the waiting period, they'll start giving you that 60% discount, and then 70, and then goes on to 80%. So even with a $500 maximum, when they're paying 80% and you're So you get a pretty good deal there. Now, I was just looking at it and saying, who that really fits best for is one. It's going to be into probably the over 65 crowd who already has a hearing aid, because now what they're getting is all their repairs, their adjustments, they're getting, the batteries and all that kind of stuff easily paid for out of their benefit. So it's going to work out really well for them. Plus they do get the hearing exam every year. Yeah. So that should work out pretty well, especially if you're dealing with the over 65. Now SureBridge is part of the Chesapeake Life Insurance Company. So that's where you would go if you wanted to get appointed. Went ahead and put that up there. So you do have some options there as to who can help you out with that, and that looks like a pretty good way to go for somebody who is in that over 65 crowd. All in all, it's really just not a bad program. It's just fits where it's going to fit best is going to probably be in the Medicare situation. Because those are the big three that everybody wants. And as I played with the quote myself, I found that you're down on that probably looking around $30 a month with $1,000 benefit, and you're up in the $60 a month if you're looking at the $2,000 benefit. So I'd say that they're pretty competitive as far as what's out there, and they look like they do a pretty good job in that they will cover the big three rather than just dental or dental. Yeah, well, that's about what I have for today's Monday. I'm not sure what next Monday's topic is going to be. And I think that'll be Trainer Nick. Okay. If you do have any questions about this product, just be sure and email us here at training. We'll be glad to provide you with some more information and help out with that. If anybody does have any questions, just feel free to give us an email there at training@ahcpsales.com. And we'll get back to you right away. And with that, I'm just going to call it a day.